Giving all honor, praise, and glory to the Most High, the Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Welcome back to Native Creations. So today, my son and I are outside. It's a beautiful day today. Everyone knows that this is like the beginning of spring. And so everything just looks fresh and lush and green. We have a nice cool breeze out here today. The trees are swaying. And it's just a really beautiful day. So I just wanted to take advantage of that and come outside and do a little video. I want to discuss estrogen dominance. And a lot of women suffer from estrogen dominance and don't even know it. And basically what that means is that there is an overload of estrogen in the body and it's recycling itself in the body. And so this creates an imbalance. So there are a wide range of things that can begin to happen when a woman does have this. It even can affect men. Yes, estrogen dominance can affect men. And you will notice certain signs if it affects a man, such as, certain characteristics that he takes on that belong to a woman. So things like breast development, his emotions may be a bit different for a man, and sometimes even a slight voice change. So there's just many different things that happen to an individual depending on if you're male or female. However, estrogen dominance affects both, but it's mainly particularly affecting women. So a lot of women have to experience at some point in their life, based off their own decision, a hysterectomy. And I have spoken about this surgery briefly in some of my old videos. I have like a 4-part series on feminine hygiene. And I spoke about some of the cautions that a woman should consider when she's making the decision to have the surgery or not. And I also spoke about the effects of the digestive system and the colon being properly cleansed in conjunction with the female reproductive system. So a lot of women result to, having their uterus removed, their womb being taken out. And maybe they don't know that there are other options that you can, consider using, or they may do it out of fear. Or worst case scenario is mainly ignorance. A lot of people don't know about the alternative methods to save your organ so that you don't have to go through such an invasive surgery that can bring about other complications. So I just wanted to touch bases on the knowledge of estrogen dominance and what you can kind of do to, keep your body healthy. So there are 3 types of estrogen. We all know that naturally our bodies produce estrogen. So this is just what you call the natural estrogen. And then there's phytoestrogen. That's found in plants. And that type of estrogen resembles very closely to the same degree almost of that of our own naturally made bodily estrogen. So there's natural estrogen and then there's phytoestrogen. And the third type is xenoestrogen. And this is the artificially made estrogen that is created in a lab, and it's found in most skincare products, hair products, even some of your oral hygiene products, and you'll know it by the word paraben. And there are many different types of parabens. I'm not going to get into every single one of them, but there are many forms and types of parabens. And so when you see that word, know that that is that xenoestrogen, and it's synthetic. It's not real. And so this is where the problems seem to kind of sneak up on people, because a lot of people don't think twice about, when you go to the store and you buy a skincare product or an oral hygiene product, for the most part. I mean, nowadays people are becoming more aware of healthier choices, but the typical person doesn't really care or take the time to properly investigate what it is they're spending their money on and putting on their body. And everyone knows or should know that what you put on your skin is, quickly absorbed into your bloodstream by the body. So this is where the chemicals and toxins from synthetic artificially made products get into your system and begin to wreak havoc long term in your body. So fibroids are the result of estrogen dominance, and that is what's creating that imbalance. So, you've heard of imbalanced hormones, which in many cases can make people have psychological problems, behavioral issues, mood disorders. That's coming from an estrogen dominance. So believe it or not, something that you would probably take for granted has loads of negative effects on the body. But fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that can be found inside or outside of the uterus. Okay, so you have subserosal and submucosal types of fibroids. Okay, and these fibroids grow within the walls of the uterus, and they can range in size, and they can be in singles, or you can have multiple quantities of them. So some women can have just one fibroid that's maybe really small or extremely large, and some women can have several fibroids at one time and varying in different sizes. Okay, and a lot of women that have the larger fibroids or multiple fibroids will have a protruding or extended type of stomach. Their abdomen looks as if they are pregnant, as if they're carrying an actual baby when they're not. So these are some of the things you can look for. And these fibroids rarely cause any symptoms before a woman is age 30. Okay. And these fibroids are also more common in our so-called African American women, even the Hispanic women, and even the Native American women. Any woman can develop them, but they are more common in those three ethnic groups that I just mentioned. Okay. And so a lot of times the fibroids, usually begin to decrease in size or disappear on their own right around the time a woman is going to start experiencing menopause. And the reason for that is because your estrogen levels naturally decrease when you are about to enter into the phase of menopause. So this is why I like to say that the surgery can be avoided if you get properly examined and investigate all, avenues of the situation. Because around the time that a woman is going to enter into her menopausal phase, a lot of times, mostly all the time, these fibroids go away on their own. So that's something to think about. And, this video is just to make you think and to make you be educated and be more informed on your decisions that you possibly may have to make in the near future if you're dealing with a fibroid or an estrogen dominance situation, or even if you know someone else. So, just keep those things in mind. And then there are some things that can contribute to the fibroids' actual growth and size. Now, you'll have to go back and watch my other videos on things like the colon and like how to use a step stool when you're, going to the restroom to defecate. And you'll have to watch my videos on feminine hygiene to pretty much have this video make more sense to you. I don't want to really go into those videos too much in detail, but I spoke about the importance of keeping all of your channels of elimination clean and free of built up waste, because that is where the fibroids manifest, is from not having a clean colon, not having a clean liver and things like that. And there's so many others. Women have 5 channels of elimination and men have 4. So initially, the fibroids develop based off what you eat and your lifestyle. And then again, things you put on your skin. There are outside external factors that contribute to fibroids, but mainly it is from what you eat. And there are some things that really, really wreak havoc on the development of fibroids, or things that keep them alive. They do need a blood supply in order to stay present in the body. And the more blood that they have, the more they are fed and the more bigger they can grow. So things like soy, you'll find soy in a lot of products that claim to be, natural and healthy and, organic. And I've mentioned before, if that soy is not fermented, or if it is non-GMO, that is basically full of estrogen. It's full of that artificially made type of estrogen. So it's best to try to consume fermented soy. That will be your best, healthiest option. If you must consume soy, look for soy that is non-GMO and that is fermented. But regular soy does contribute to estrogen being accumulated, too quickly and too much in abundance in the body. Inorganic or non-grass-fed meat. So if you are a heavy meat eater, your meat needs to be meat that the animal was grass-fed, because a lot of the feed that goes to the animals is tainted and coated in chemicals, and it's not organic, and these animals are eating it. And then if you consume the animal, you're getting the same thing that they consumed. So meats that are not organic or the animals are not grass fed, those are huge factors in you developing an overload of estrogen in the body. So when you're going out to these restaurants, when you're going to cookouts and parties and dinners with family members, when you're at work getting your lunch and you're in a hurry, even if you're at home preparing your meals, think twice about the meat that you're consuming. If you're going to be, eating meat like that all the time, just know that the meat needs to be organic and grass fed. And if you watch my videos, if you're familiar with my channel, you know that different meats take longer than others to digest, and you should never eat a meat, which is a protein, with a starch. So no chicken and rice and beans, no chicken and potatoes, no chicken and bread, or whatever kind of meat that you eat. Don't consume a protein with a starch. But again, go back and view some of those videos. I speak about that and the importance of not combining your foods in an incompatible way. You'll jack up the transverse part of your colon, and these two foods will never digest the way that they should, because they digest in different areas within the digestive system. So be cautious of how you make your food meals, or be careful in the way that you combine your foods. Dairy. Dairy is a huge culprit as well of estrogen dominance. All of the quote unquote good things in milk is extracted, and it is replaced with synthetic hormones, steroids. So, people that drink cow milk or animal milk, the stuff that says fortified with calcium and vitamin D, those are synthetic forms of, estrogen, as well as, it being a steroid. And then dairy produces its own waste, which is the leftover byproduct known as whey. And whey is found in most of your bodybuilding powders that a lot of men take to bulk up their muscles. Even women are doing it these days. It's found in a lot of those health power bars. You'll see whey as like one of the main ingredients. And it's in so many other food items. And whey itself, it has its own waste that it produces as well. And so not only is this bad for estrogen dominance and bad for your health, but it also contributes to respiratory issues, and it can exacerbate allergens in people with allergies. So dairy is just very, very problematic within itself. And, there's so many other type of nut milks on the market. You can make your own nut milk. There are other ways to get calcium and vitamin D. It does not have to come from a cow or a nut. You can get it from plants. Moringa is great for that. Moringa offers a wide range of health benefits, especially vitamin D and calcium. So it comes in a powder, you can get in the leaf or the seed. There's many ways to consume moringa. Plastic with BPA. So people, when you're heating up your food in the microwave or you're buying fast food, restaurant food, it's heated up in microwaves as well. And when BPA, which stands for bisphenol A, when that's heated up, it leaches out into your food. So whatever you're eating is going to contain that chemical compound, and that compound mimics estrogen. So it creates estrogen dominance in the body as well. There are other things that can contribute to estrogen dominance, but I just wanted to give you like the most typical things that people typically are in contact with on a daily basis. There are some other diseases that are linked to consuming high levels of estrogen. So things like breast cancer, cervical cancer, hyperthyroidism, a wide range of autoimmune disorders or diseases, chronic fatigue, and even heart disease. Estrogen is just, it's a huge issue. A lot of women suffer from it and don't even know it. A lot of men suffer from it. A lot of young children are suffering from estrogen dominance at a very young age, and people are wondering why their children are having issues concentrating or behavioral issues in school or just their whole overall emotions. It could very well be linked to an overload of estrogen in the body. There are some foods that you can eat to begin to help the body begin detoxing and getting rid of that estrogen that's so much in abundance. Things like broccoli and cauliflower, cabbage, kale, and Brussels sprouts, just to name a few, those things will help you get rid of the estrogen dominance. Doing a liver flush, consuming two important herbs, milk thistle and dandelion root. Those are extremely important for helping the body to rid itself of estrogen. And then doing a castor oil or a castor leaf pack or poultice on the abdomen, if you're a woman, can help the body begin to, release and get rid of that estrogen that's just recycling in your body. And so understand that if you decide to get a hysterectomy because you were experiencing heavy bleeding from the fibroids, you had excruciating pain, you had very, very low blood count, you may look pale, in your complexion because you're losing so much blood. The problems don't stop there if you elect to have your womb removed, because the colon corresponds to every other organ in your body, including the breast. So quite naturally, if you've got fibroids, your breast can be affected as well. So just because you remove your uterus doesn't mean that it clears up the problem. There are other parts of the body that can be affected from those fibroids, even after you remove the uterus, because again, fibroids are from, number one, your colon not being cleansed and you eating a poor diet, and number two, estrogen dominance. So just think about these things, because when you do a natural approach to health, it is a holistic approach to your health, meaning you're working on the entire body, not just one area of your body. It's the whole entire body. And then the biggest I guess detriment to obtaining optimal health is, first of all, knowledge of what proper optimal health is in the first place, so not being ignorant of certain things pertaining to health. And number two, discipline. It's up to you. You're in charge of your body. It's your responsibility to take care of your health. No one can make you or force you. This is all on you. So if you're not disciplined enough to bring about a permanent lifestyle change in the way that you eat, your attitude, your behavior, what you're willing to hear, what you reject or don't reject as far as knowledge goes, all these things are based off your own decision to do what you want to do. And, character and attitude are a spiritual form of health. They're not, in a sense, physical. The physical can affect your spiritual, behavior, but those things are spiritual, like your attitude and your character. And so I just wanted to read a quick little scripture here. It's from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 13. And it says, "He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and a shame unto him." So if you're going to these doctors and you're not getting a second and third opinion, and you're just making a decision based off fear without proper investigation of what you've been told, it is as if you're answering a matter before you even hear it, meaning you're making a decision without being properly informed. And so we need herbs, we need doctors, we need surgeons, we need chiropractors and things like that. But with all of those professions, you still need to be properly informed. So if you choose to reject knowledge, that's your own business, but you can't speak on something you know nothing about, and you certainly should not be making a decision before even hearing the matter. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. Please like it and share it, and please hit the subscribe button because these types of things that I speak about need to get around to more people. And on YouTube, you help me by subscribing so that others can know about what I'm talking about on my channel. So with that being said, thank you and shalom.